Yo, yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. How's everyone doing? You know, not too many people in here yet, but, well, you guys jump in, say hi. You know, I haven't done one of these in quite a while, but I love doing them, and I felt like it was time. Things have just been mad busy. Looks like the quality of the stream is messed up. I tried upping it, so let me fix that real quick. Let me know if it's no good. Yeah, it looks pretty bad. Let me fix that. My internet's been a little bit shaky. Let's see. Just give me 1 sec. I will be right back. All right, let's see if that is any better. Hopefully. Yeah, looks better to me. I don't know, you guys let me know if you're in here. Still trying to figure out this whole streaming thing, and my internet's been a little shaky. We had like this big outage in Canada. It was like a Rogers, so there's Rogers and Bell, right? And they own all the internet, all the cellular, all that stuff, and it wiped out for like a whole day, all of Rogers. So like so many people were without internet and phone, and ever since it came back, it's just not quite been the same. So you might have to bear with me a bit on this one, but this quality looks better. So hopefully it's not too laggy. But again, I will see what I can do. Let me know in the chat how it is. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Man, it's been, like I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these live streams. It's been tough, man. I've been moving around, you know. You probably noticed from the videos all kinds of different backgrounds and different places, and that's because I'm moving, you know. I'm just finished up school, just graduated, so now we're kind of in a transition period, and so it's been tough to go live. Still doesn't look very good. Anyway, still getting some lag. So yeah, there's a few things I wanted to talk about, but I think I need to fix this stream first. Let me just bear with me for a second while I watch it here, see how it looks. I mean, it looks okay. Okay, anyway, whatever. We're just gonna go for it. So, yeah, I mean, I like doing the live streams. I don't know how many people enjoy watching them, but I feel like we can have some fun. I have quite a few topics, you know, I'd like to talk about today. A couple of new series, some insights. Dropped a pretty cool video today, eh, guys? What do you think? What do you think about that one? What do you want me to say, man? I mean, some real mind reading right there. I mean, as real as it can get, I guess. But yeah, more to come on that. Just stay tuned, I'll say. And excuse my clickbait. You know, I'm doing what I got to do to survive out here in the YouTube world. You know, you gotta get them clicks somehow. So I was thinking about how I could. So I've been watching like some videos on how to like improve getting people to watch your videos, right? Because to be honest, when I started all this, I didn't have half a clue of what I was doing, right? Like, I think my old videos are terrible. Not that my new videos are much better, but they've come a long way, right? I don't know the first thing about making videos when I started, right? And so I've been watching some videos and stuff, and it's funny because one of the things they were saying is like, if you have your idea, right, try to package it. You have to figure out the packaging, right? That's the most important thing. So like your thumbnail, your title, and how you're gonna like draw people in and that sort of thing. And so I spent some time playing around with that video, and I thought like the good old, you know, warning, do not watch would be a good hook. So anyway, let's get into some magic stuff here. So, new videos. Let's start there. What do we got coming? I've been mentioning, if you've been listening, we got a couple new series on the way. All right, a couple new series coming. The first of which was Dear Magicians. So if you guys haven't checked out Dear Magicians, I think it's pretty sweet. It's kind of a rant-ish series, but I don't want it to be all negative, but it's going to be hard to know exactly what direction it's going to go, but I don't want it to be all negative. But the first episode was about being nice to each other. I think, as magicians, we're a small community, we're niche, and so we got to be nice to each other, man. We got to support each other. Even if you see something you don't like, you got to, be positive, try to provide some constructive criticism rather than tearing it down. There's no reason to leave a negative comment or anything like that, you know what I mean? So that's that. There'll be more of those. Those were a lot of fun. I had some fun with the intro on that one if you haven't seen it yet. Then a couple of series before I talk about some of the other new ones. One of them I'm going to keep a secret, okay, unfortunately. I'll give you the name, okay? If you guys tuned in, not that I don't think there's anyone really tuned in at the moment, but it's still early. One of the new series is called Sleight Fight, which is a pretty clever name if you ask me, so I won't tell you anything about it, but I'm very excited for Sleight Fight. That's going to be something very neat, very different in the YouTube magic space, and I think it'll be pretty cool, so I'll be curious to see what you guys think. Then, so that's the second new series, and then one that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks. The first episode will be a performance breakdown series, so something that people have been asking me for a while, and I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to look at some of my street magic videos, take one video. My videos for street magic are about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll take one of those and we'll break down the whole video, and I always like to throw in a bunch of different performances to keep the video feeling fresh rather than showing you the whole group, right? I'll take, if I did 3 tricks on a group, I'll break it up into, if I have 3 different videos, and so you get different people throughout the video. But we'll look at one video at a time, and we'll look at the tricks in it, and I'll give you as much as I can about what I did. I don't imagine we'll talk too much methods, but depends on the type of tricks. If it's stuff I taught, we can definitely get into the methods, and you can see how I did it. You can see, more importantly, the performance and how I handle some of the patter and how I handle audience management. And there's a bunch of tricks, well, not a bunch, but there's several tricks throughout my series that have actually went wrong. And if you guys have watched, I mean, in a lot of cases, you probably don't notice, right? And a good reason for that is because I can save it most of the time, but I can really tell you what exactly went wrong and how I fixed it, and that I think will be a good learning exercise. Also, we can look at the performances where, like, another reason that you might not notice is sometimes for the flow of the video, right, for preserving the method, sometimes things go wrong, and if I left it in the video, it would kind of ruin the method and on video, right, seeing it back over and over. But the people who watched the effect still had a fantastic time witnessing the effect because it was still incredible, right, to them. But with that said, sometimes on video you kind of need to cut that out, like if there's a mistake that is problematic to be watched over and over, right? And so some of those cases I can explain, okay, here's what actually happened before you get the second half of the trick or whatever it happens to be. So I think that series is going to be pretty cool. I think a lot of you guys are going to like that. I know I'm excited for it, and should be coming out soon. That one's not going to take too long to get out. The Sleight Fight is going to take a while, still at least a good month plus of filming and stuff for that, so it's going to be a while. Let me check out the stream, see if we're still getting some decent quality here. Looks alright. Alright, I'll need to still work on it, but still learning, still figuring out this whole live stream business. Next are some series that will be returning, the long-awaited return. One of those is Behind the Screens. If you guys have not seen Behind the Screens, probably my favorite videos I've ever made because they're super creative. Essentially, the idea is that I take Omegle Magic, right? I do magic for on Omegle, which is a website where it's like, you know, FaceTime, but if people don't know, it's like FaceTime, but it pairs you with a random stranger somewhere in the world. So it's pretty good for doing magic. And so I'm going to be, so the idea and what I do in Behind the Screens is I do Omegle Magic, but not like card tricks or like stuff that you guys could just watch and it's me doing all the magic. I do elaborate tricks, right? So like one with this dartboard over here, I did like the guy named it a card, named a number. We threw the cards up at the board as I threw a dart and it hit his card out of the air. The card he named and landed on the number position on the dartboard that he named. So really elaborate stuff. And then you watch a performance, you see, you know, it always kills. There are always super cool effects. And then you get to see afterwards how I did it, right? Because they're not methods that I can use in the real world. They're not practical ever, but you can see how those work. And it's really neat because I film a behind the screen angle, like a second angle, and it's really cool. So part 4, we got about 4 trick ideas that we're working on. Well, we got a bunch of ideas, but 4 that we decided we'll use for part 4. And 2 out of the 4 have been filmed and are completed and are awesome. So yeah, we just got 2 more to do. So I'm hoping soon. It's going to be a big video to edit as well, but I'll get that out as quickly as I can. So that's coming back. And then the sleight off, man. I am working hard to bring the sleight off back. I want to do it, but it's hard to find someone, man. Not everyone wants to do it. I mean, okay, I'll leave it at that. Unfortunately, you know, it is where that's at now. It's stopped, so I'm working hard to get it back for the next season because you know, it's had some things going on. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah, so that's that in terms of new series, new videos. I got some cool tutorials. Let me check what's coming out tutorial-wise soon. Gotta check my notes here, what's been filmed. Yes, Mentalism 101 episode 4 will be coming out soon. That is on... What is that on? That is on... geez. Man, I have to look it up. That is on... Having a process. Yes, having a process. So having a process, something super important in mentalism. Basically the how and yeah, the how of how you do magic. How does it work from the audience's perspective? What is your process? Super important. So I'll leave it at that. That video will be coming out soon. I'm excited for that. Tutorial wise, I got an open prediction effect, something that's pretty cool that I'm gonna share. I think I've taught it before in an old live stream, but not many people saw it, which is fine. So I'm gonna kind of teach that aspect, and then I have a really nice triumph that you can do off of the... You're left a little bit dirty in that trick, right? You're left with some cleanup to do, but if you actually use that to your advantage, you can go into a really cool, really clean triumph. So I'm gonna talk about that. And then I'm teaching an original control of mine called the On the Run control. I have not taught it before. I've done it in a few videos and people have asked about it, so I'm going to be teaching that. There's a version to the table, a version in the hand, so I'm going to start with the table version, then another video I'll teach you the in the hands version. So there you go. That's a full rundown of what we got on the horizon. What else can we talk about? Man, we're not getting... No one's sticking around. It's kind of a bad time, to be honest. It's pretty late. Well, I don't know. I just got a comment on the mind reading video I put out today. Do not watch. I told you guys not to watch. Jason, I just see your comment now. He said, deletes phone, burns it, moves to a mountain. Yeah, I would too if I saw that wizardry. So... Yeah, go watch that video. It's pretty sick. It's like a full uncut performance from the moment I meet these people on Omegle. Omegle? I always say Omegle and I just said Omegle. Anyway, on Omegle, and you can see it from start to finish, and I'd say it's pretty much the cleanest mind reading you're ever going to see, man. So you tell me. Anyway, like I said, more to come on that. But yeah, let me see what else I want to talk about. So go check out that and the new Dear Magicians video. I think that's a really important video for a lot of people to watch. Off the back of that, I think I'll do a full episode on this of Dear Magicians. But one thing I just wanted to mention was, like, I think Craig Petty recently made a rant on this, I believe, like about revealing methods in the comments, or like magicians revealing methods in the comments of other magicians' videos. And I honestly didn't have too strong of an opinion about it until, like, I started posting the short videos. So if you guys don't know, if you haven't noticed, I hope you've noticed, but I've been working really hard and to do a video a day, right? That's been my new goal, put out a video a day. So my posting schedule, again, if you haven't figured it out, is a long form video, whether it's street magic tutorials, how to make your magic better, Omegle magic, I have so many different series, whatever it is, mentalism 101, you know, that comes out on, say, day 0, and then there'll be 1, 2, 3 days of a break, and then day 4 I post another long form. So every 4 days I post a long form video, right? Then I'm hoping to go live as often as I can every once in a while, side note. But now what I've started to do is the 3 days in between, I'm posting a short video. So those are videos from my TikTok, my Instagram, which you can go follow at rfsleights. Trying to just, you know, for me, TikTok and Instagram are always a funnel back to the YouTube channel. And so, but you know, everyone wants the short content now, right? That's what YouTube's pushing. So I figured might as well hop on that. So I'm doing a video a day, and it's going well. It's going real well. But since I started posting those get a lot of people watching who are not subscribed. And so, what's up? I see 2 people in the chat. Say hi. You better say hi right now. Anyway, so the short videos, they get a lot of views from people who aren't subscribed, right? So you get a lot of laymen or just random people, and I never had a huge opinion on, like, revealing methods in the comments. I was just like, you know, it didn't affect me much. But now I see the problem with it, because when let's say I post a trick video, right? And some magician says, and I'm sure a lot of the times, like, they don't mean it this way, but like you say, oh, you know, nice double lift, nice cull, nice this, nice that, and in those cases, like, yes, a layman might not know what that means, but regardless, a lot of times it's more obvious. When you say something like that, it's like, okay, now someone watches the video and they enjoy it, and then they go check out the comments, and it ruins it for them, right? And a layman have this weird perspective on magic where it's like, especially if they're not seeing it in person, like online magic, right? They're just like, okay, there's always that thought that this whole thing could be fake. Like, I've started to get that a lot, like more, you know, oh, it's staged, right? As your audience gets bigger, more people saying crazy things. And so what I've noticed is, like, laymen have like a, you know, if I'm doing magic in person for someone, we're good. But when they see a video online, it's like, a lot of them, it's like, how I want to know how this is done, and they'll just go straight to the comments to find out. And when they see that, it's just like, okay, dismiss it and move on to the next thing. If you can create that sense of wonder, that's when, okay, they'll go to the next video of yours, right? They'll see what else this person has. So I think it's important there. And at the end of the day, I don't want to ruin the magic for the other people watching, right? The layman, generally the layman, but even magicians too. If it's something that fooled them, then great. I mean, we should preserve that, really. But the point is, leaving comments about methods, like, if you really need to, like, just put an asterisk, you know, like, if you're going to say cull, just do C asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Maybe not, that's not the greatest choice of word, because that could be a couple other words that you might not want to mean. But You know what I mean? Or just like, if you want to ask me about a method ever, I like prefer just email me or DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to talk about most things, but you know, just for the sake of the other people watching, the non-magicians generally, like, you know, just there's no need to reveal in the comments. And I know a lot of people, a lot of times it's just they are revealing it to show that they know how it works and it's an ego thing. But if that's the case, I'm just going to delete your comment, to be frank. So yeah, but I just wanted to touch on that. I'll probably make a whole video on it because it's kind of an interesting topic. And again, it's one that I didn't really care about before, but now I kind of realize the problems with it, right? Anyway, what's up? We got a few more people in here. Someone break the ice, man. Someone say hi. Anyway, next thing. Well, I think actually I had a good segue from the shorts. A great example is I posted a video today on Instagram and TikTok, and it will be coming on YouTube, like a shorts in, I don't know, a couple days, maybe 4 days or something, because I have a few lined up, but after that it'll come out. And it's another interactive card trick. And I love interactive stuff through the internet because I feel like it's a genre that's not super well explored. Like the only good trick that I can think of is like, well, there's two maybe. It's like the elephants in Denmark where you use that number force. That one was good, but then it got beat to death. And then there's this one that's also beat to death now, but you take like 5 court cards and you're like, think of one, and then you're like, I'm going to remove your card, and then you remove one and you show them and their card's gone. But you know, if you know how that one works, I mean, it's pretty obvious, but it did really well. Like, it was and those two methods are like great methods for like interactive, because there's not a whole lot of stuff you can do. You can't ask anyone any questions. You want to give them an element of free choice, but you can't really, like, you have to have a method still. So it's very interesting interactive magic, like through video, like by watching a video, right? It's very, very interesting. So I want to explore that a bit more, like especially doing the shorts and stuff. It's pretty cool, and I kind of want to look at that a bit more. So I'm going to be doing that. And I did one today, and I feel like, you know, for example, the elephants in Denmark, I feel like we can take that method and completely disguise it and make it way better, but I just had just about figuring that out. So what I did, anyway, I'll post that on YouTube, but I won't spoil it. It's pretty cool. It's an interactive trick. I did take some principles from some, no, I don't want to spoil it. So, and you'll see it in a few days, or you can go check it out on Instagram, TikTok at RF Sleights. But the point is, those videos, that's the other thing with interactive magic. Like, people are going to rewatch a video over and over and over, and a lot of people, until they figure out how it's done. Because at the end of the day, those videos aren't, like, you can do your best to make them be able to be rewatched, but at the end of the day, it's hard to make a interactive magic trick video for social media that you can rewatch over and over, and it'll never give away the method. Because, like, if you have someone think of a card, maybe it works the first time, but then if they think of a different card the second time, does it work? And I was actually able to get it to work in this video that you guys will see in a few days. But long-winded, but all to say, it's funny because those videos tend to do well, but more because they're controversial. So you'll have like half the comments be like, oh my god, it worked, that's insane. You'll have the other half being like, either saying, you know, not following the instructions and being like, it didn't work. And then I'll be like, why didn't it work? And they'll say, I picked this card. And I was like, I literally said, pick one of these. And they'll just, you know, pick a random card, like stupid stuff like that. Then you'll get people who actually, a couple people, you know, have an idea of how the method, they caught something because they watched it like 10 times over. And, you know, that's fair. But I noticed from those videos, like, if someone, you know, I won't delete the ones who say it didn't work because they're always funny and I always like to mess with them a little bit. But the ones that are like giving away a bit too much of the method, I'll get rid of those comments because I don't want to, I don't want to ruin the trick for everyone else. It's pretty good. Anyway, I think this one's pretty cool. So you guys will see it here on YouTube in a couple of days. And if you want to go check it out now, you can on Instagram. But yeah, that's enough talking. FISM, we can talk about FISM, but I think we should get into, what do you guys think? Anyone in here? I'll keep talking unless someone says they want a tutorial, because I have a few things I'm down to teach, but I ain't teaching them to no one. So you guys let me know. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. I got a couple more talking points. otherwise, so you guys let me know if you want a tutorial. Just someone in the chat let me know. Let me know. I got a few cool things I wanted to talk about. Otherwise, I will continue rambling about some interesting topics. But yeah, also if you guys have any questions, this is a great time. I'll answer them right now, live, for real. If you want to know how I did that mind reading trick on Omegle, just ask. Someone just needs to ask. That's all. So yeah, FISM was actually here in Canada 2 weeks ago maybe, and I didn't go. It was expensive, and was I out of town that weekend? I think I was out of town. I was in Quebec City, I think. So yeah, I'm about 4.5 hours, but it's not, I mean, it would have been really cool. Like looking back, I kind of regret it. I kind of wish I went, but seeing a lot of the stuff from it looked really cool, looked like a great time. So I'm glad people enjoyed it. And I'm sure I would have enjoyed it just as much. It looked like a really good time. I knew a lot of the guys from the Magic club here, or the club in Ottawa here. A couple of them went to it, and it seemed like it was a great time. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've never done the convention thing, so I'll probably have to do it at some point. But it seems pretty neat. Let's see. Sometimes I like to share. See if I can share any new ideas, like some work in progress kind of thing. And if you guys want me to teach something, I can. Just let me know. I have a few ideas. Just drop a chat and I will share something. I recently looked at Christian Grace's Magic Monthly. Got it for a bit, and it's pretty great, man. Like, it's not totally the style of magic that I would do. He's got a neat way of making gimmicked card effects seem ungimmicked. Like, so many of the effects I never thought were with a gimmick, and that's one of the things that inherently enticed me to check it out. But I just don't do a ton of gimmick work, like barely any. I think like one trick. And so it's really, really hard to convince me to bring something else along with me, make something else part of my everyday carry, because yeah, I like to pack light. So, you know, it definitely takes a lot. The effect has to be, you know, well worth it. So he has a really neat way of, you know, I never would have suspected half of these effects used gimmicks, even like just using a double backer and stuff, right? Like, he's got a great way. Everything's really nicely justified too, right? Everything he does. And that's another thing that I really liked about his style of magic. Like, even simple things like, how do you reverse a card secretly in a spread? And he has the moves all like, you know, very nicely, you know, you could have, or one thing that he does, like, it's not anything, but if you have a break above a selection, he had this really nice thing, and it's so simple, but instead of just cutting the cards, or, you know, everyone does a double undercut, it was just like, so now in a second I'm going to have you mix the cards like this, right? Just mix and mix and mix, and just in that, just get the card to the top. And I just thought that, like, that kind of stuff was pretty great. There's one effect from it. The one I liked the most was called Subconscious Connection. So if you guys pick that up, or if you've ever been part of his Magic Monthly, then I would check that one out. That it's impromptu, so, you know, calling my name. I loved it. There we go. Someone broke the ice finally. What's up, man? Rourke. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. Thank you. Someone broke the ice. I've been waiting, man. And I'm glad it's you. I've been talking for a while. A couple of updates on the channel. A couple of things like that. A couple of things going on in the magic world. But I have a few things I can teach if you're interested. I just waiting for someone to ask me to teach something, but no one has yet. So, but yeah, how you doing, man? Let me know how you're doing. If you have any questions, you know, drop them. Let me know if you wanna see something. Another thing recently. So I think Did I post this in a video yet? Yes, in the magic vlog. I had a performance. Craig Petty recently, I think he did a tutorial on Lloyd's channel for his trick 4 King Hell, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of underestimated it. I saw it and it was impromptu and checked a few boxes. You know, I wanted another. I had a few card to boxes that I used to do. I just haven't done them in a while, man. So I'm not gonna. So I didn't really have a good one that I liked anymore. And so when I saw that, I was like, you know what, card to box, I like it. I'm down. So I learned it quick, and then I tried it that night in that magic vlog video I made from the meetup we had, and it was cool. It played really, really well. It was her favorite trick of the night, and I really liked it. So I did it again in another video that I have coming soon. So Friday's my next drop, Friday 11 a.m. I'm going to be dropping a close-up performance video. So I did at a party recently, and it's super awesome, guys. Like, everyone was super into it. You know, the drinks were flowing, but it was like, it's a super fun video. So there's gonna be 2 parts to that. So part 1 will be dropping Friday, and I don't know if I do the trick in part 1 or part 2, but I did do it to them, and it played really well. So if you haven't checked out that, I would recommend it for like an impromptu, anytime, anywhere trick. That 4 King Hell Craig Petty trick. I actually been playing around with that. I quite like it. What's up? Okay, we're up to 7 people in here. Let's go. We're getting numbers. What's up, guys? Say hi. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. If you have any questions, let me know. How's everyone doing? I'd like to know. Tell me what effect you guys are currently working on, or move or anything like that. And if you would like a tutorial right now, live, let me know. I got a few cool things in the bag that we can teach if you're up for it. So let me know, my man. Love some Leonard. What's up, man? Love some performance videos. Yes, you're gonna love the one Friday. It's freaking awesome. One of my favorites on the channel yet. It's just like a little party thing, but the reactions were killer. It's a group of people I haven't seen in like 5 years, plus a bunch of random people, and they knew me at a point where I was doing magic. I've been doing magic since I was like 6 years old, but no one knew. This was like, 5 years ago. No one knew. So it was pretty cool to get to share that with them, and it's just an awesome video. It was pretty loud, so the audio was tough, but I think I saved it as much as I can. Anthony, my man, I'm a big fan of you, my man, big fan. What's good, man? How's everyone doing? Finally, we got some people in here. I feel like I've been rambling for the last half hour and no one's been in here, and now we get some people, and now I'm getting through my topics, man. You guys, anyway. Let me know if the stream looks okay, by the way. I had some issues when I first started. My internet's been a bit shaky, and we had some like big outage here in Canada, like half the damn country, like a little while back. And I just find it hasn't been the same since. Anyway, magic stuff. I've just been talking about some new series that's coming. I'm gonna start doing performance breakdown soon, like performance breakdowns. I'm gonna take like my street magic videos, my performance videos, and I'll do like voiceovers and give you all the nitty-gritty details about performance, tricks, methods, how I saved things, how I handled audience management. So I think that's gonna be a cool series. Then there's Dear Magicians. That first episode just came out, which is kind of a ranty, just sit and talk, fun video about different topics. I'm gonna try to keep it positive though as well. What else we got? And then there's one more new series called, I only revealed the name. I'm not going to say what it's about yet because I want to keep it a secret, but I did say for y'all who tuned in, I will give you a little sneak peek. The name is called Sleight Fight. If you guys have any guesses, actually, that'd be cool. If you have any guesses as to what Sleight Fight is going to be, don't get it confused with Sleight Off, okay? Because it's not the same as Sleight Off. The Sleight Off, I'm working really hard to bring back season 3, and hopefully that'll come soon. But Sleight Fight, what do you think a series called Sleight Fight would be about? I think it's a pretty great name. Leonard, working on memorizing a deck and the Cull. Great, man. It's funny. I don't have a memorized deck. I don't know if people know that or not. But to be honest, I think I made one video on why I don't do stack work. And the reason is, Not that like I have a good memory. I've always had a good memory, and I could do it, definitely. But I've always found that pretty much anything I can do, any effect I've ever seen with a memorized deck, I could do without a memorized deck. Now, before you crucify me, okay, I understand that there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to be, it might not be as clean, but like I always say, cleanliness is only a thing that matters to magicians. When you get out there and perform, as long as you can create the same illusion of cleanliness, which is extremely, I'm not going to say easy, but it's extremely doable to laymen, then they won't have a clue that it wasn't as clean as the memorized deck version. You know what I mean? Now, I guarantee, I'm sure there are effects that maybe I haven't seen or I have seen and I kind of brush them off and they're incredible, but there's nothing that's ever been like, I need to learn a memorized deck. Like, for example, like I don't do gimmicked magic either, like gimmick cards. The only thing I ever carry is really a duplicate. But there's one effect, the face-off effect, you guys see me do, where I rip 2 cards in half and the 2 halves of each card fuse together. That I do, and that's the only really gimmick trick that I do. But it's like, you make the gimmicks yourself. You don't have to buy a bunch of new ones. They're easy to make. And it's easy to slip in and slip out, like it's just a 2-card little gimmick thing. So in that sense, like, that trick was just so good. I was like, I'll take the sacrifice. So memorized deck work for me, it's just like, you know what, man, Leonard, do you, man, learn it, because there's some incredible stuff you can do. I've just always felt memorized deck is better for fooling magicians. I mean, and I don't perform to magicians. That's not my goal. And I just always felt I could do, you know, what I need to. The Cull, though, best moving card magic, man. Like, that's even a new opinion for me. I wasn't always of that opinion, but now I'd say that's like my number one. Like, I love the Cull, man. I do so much. Like, you've seen the 2 effects that my 2 go-to effects are full deck culling effects, where you have to cull half the deck, right? I do the, well, it's not, so I always say it wrong. Kyosta is what I always say, but it's Kostya. There we go. It's going to take me a while to reprogram that, but Kyosta Kimlat, yes, let's go. Pump up the live. I'm going to get to everything in here in a sec. I'm just on a tangent, so we're going to continue. So his Caligula Triumph, which is where, you know, you actually have the spectators mix it and you cull out all the cards. He does all 26 at once. And he's incredible at it, but it is very difficult and it scares a lot of people away. The one I do is very similar, based off a lot of his, but I break it up into 3 different moments of the cull. And so you're only culling, let's say, 26 by 3, so about 8-9 cards per time. Much more doable, exact same effect. So it involves a bunch of culling, and then I do his unshuffling the colors, which you have to cull out and separate, you know, all 26. You're basically culling 26 cards at once. So you have to be good at the cull to do those, but those are my go-tos. If someone asks to see a trick impromptu with a deck of cards, and I would go as far as to say those are the best impromptu effects that you can do with a deck of cards. Unshuffling the colors and the Triumph in that way. So I'm a big fan of the Cull. What do we got next? Rourke says, what other magicians do you follow? I appreciate the thoughtful detail you typically put into your card work tutorials. Typically, I always put in the detail. No, I'm playing, man. Thank you. So, other magicians that I follow, I really appreciate that, though. You know, I remember when I was first making videos and they were so long, so much longer than some other videos that other people would make that I noticed were doing particularly well, and mine weren't doing as well, and I was like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Do I need to make shorter videos? And then I realized this is where the real gems are at in the long videos. That's, you know, that's where we get the good stuff. So I'm glad. The feedback, that's one of the best things I hear, that people like the detail and long videos that I put out, because I think it's important. I always felt it was, but I wasn't always sure if that was the play, right? Anyway, and what magicians do I follow? Man, I follow a lot of great people. Like Instagram, I follow more like some of the pros, some of the famous guys. But I follow some of my favorites, like on YouTube, let's say. I've been really liking what Lloyd's putting out. Like, there's few effects of his that I would ever do, because he's crazy gimmicks, right? But he's amazing. I still appreciate it, and I watch those videos. They're awesome. I love what he's got going on with his wife on the wife test or whatever he calls it. That is, it's really entertaining. He's got something good, something that like I would like love to recreate, but you know, they've got a great chemistry. So I think that series is great. I've learned a lot of cool new effects where I can find some things, and he's had a few like neat ideas of some impromptu stuff that I have actually played around with. So he's doing great. I love Craig's channel. I mean, it's more of a theory channel, but his stuff's really, really good. Who else, man? Who's still like? I mean, of course, there's Ramsey and those guys, and I love Chris's videos. I don't really watch the puzzle videos, but he still puts out great magic videos once in a while. And but you know, he's not doing a ton of magic videos now. So well, I follow like JS Magic. He does some pretty cool street magic. I'm sure I'm forgetting endless amounts of people. I follow Kevin Booth. His stuff's usually very cool. Some of his tutorials, he's got a great sort of... I feel like me and him think a lot in the same way, you know? So that's why I really like his stuff. Craig Petty. Yeah, Anthony just asked. Craig who? Yeah, Craig Petty. Yeah, I just see the delay comment now. Well, okay. I'm looking at the chat on my phone, so maybe it's a little bit better. But yeah, is the delay 5+ minutes? Is it really that bad? The delay? Okay, maybe it's that bad. Normally it's always been about 1 minute, but you guys let me know. I don't know. So yeah, Craig Petty, Magic TV, man. He does he's a performing magician, so he doesn't do tutorials, but he does like 3 videos a day. He's crazy, and he's doing like theory videos, you know, how to do this, how to do that, like performance breakdowns. He does a lot of great stuff, man. I'm a big fan. More like 2 minutes. Okay, 2 minutes. That's not so bad. That's pretty standard for lives and stuff. So those are some of the magicians I follow. Like Daniel Madison. I mean, he was one of my favorite YouTubers. Like when I was, you know, younger, coming up, I loved his stuff. I mean, now he doesn't really post like much, and the stuff he does post, it's not like it used to be. But I mean, he's a great creator, you know. So yeah, what do we got next? I like the Dear Magician series you started. Thank you, Leonard, man. I'm glad people have been really receptive to that, because I think it's an important series, and I love the name. Like, it's simple, but I think there's so many like avenues to take it, and then yeah, I'm still you know, writing down ideas every day for different videos in the series. And like I said, I'm still not positive on the direction it's going to go. I'm thinking like I imagine it's going to be a lot of kind of negative-ish stuff like it was in that last video. But I always try to put a positive spin on it, and like, what can we learn from it? Like, here's the problem. Why is this a problem? How do we fix it? What do we learn? So like, but I don't want to make them all negative. Like, I think we can definitely do some Dear Magicians, here's what we're doing right kind of thing. And I want to focus on that stuff too. I just don't think there's not always as much educational potential from the positive videos as the negative ones. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna play it by ear and figure it out. What do we got? Agreed. I also watch. Yeah, and I don't know if I'm scrolling back in the comments because you guys have been leaving lots, which is awesome. I appreciate it. Keep leaving the questions. If you want to see a tutorial, let me know. I got some stuff that I'm ready to teach. I just need someone to ask. But yeah, I'm just going through some of the old comments, so that's why it might seem like it's a little behind. I also watched several of Grace's videos and found them kind of surprising. Rourke, are you talking about... Watch several of Grace's videos. Grace. I'm not sure who you're talking about, unless... I mean, this might be a coincidence, but the video I released today, the mind reading on the 2 girls, one of their names was Grace. You're not talking about her, are you? Like, I don't know who she is, but I'm assuming you're not talking about her, but let me know. I'm slightly confused. Grace. Oh, Christian Grace. Duh. Okay, I apologize for that dumb moment. I just was talking about him, of course. Yeah, his stuff's pretty awesome. If you're into like like gimmick, like, but not like crazy gimmicks, just like using a double backer, using like that. That's a lot of his stuff. So his stuff's great. Check out his membership. It's actually quite good. I did check it out last month, and a lot of stuff. There's some couple impromptu gems in there, like that subconscious connection is great, really good. Let's share this guy's live stream. I appreciate you, Anthony. Let's share this. Get the views. I didn't share it anywhere. I thought about it, but honestly, it was kind of late, and I was like, I'm just gonna jump on and see who tunes in. This is definitely not prime time to be doing live streams, but I wanted to do it. My favorite impromptu card tricks. So yeah, I kind of mentioned that a little bit, like unshuffling the colors I love, and then my triumph I love. But lately I've been enjoying the Four King Hell Craig Petty trick. But let me think of something that I have not named yet. Let me check it out. Stuff that I have not named. Impromptu. Let me just check my secret notes. Impromptu. Let's go. I mean, a lot of mentalism, like a lot of propless. Oh no, you said card effects. Duh. Okay. Let me look. What list should we look up? What do I do? I mean, I used to. I don't know. There we go. Been trying to find that list. Let's see. Impromptu card effects. Mental image. I taught that on the channel recently. It's like a mentalism card thing. Insane. One of the best mentalism card tricks. So that one, impromptu, as is most of the things I do. Shuffleboard is not impromptu. I do that a lot. Ooh. That's a good one. Okay. Spidey's out of sight, out of mind handling. I've always really liked that. You can check that out on his channel somewhere. And I've always liked, or I like this. There's two effects that one I recently came up with. It's called Cerebral Sandwich. Quite the name, but basically it's a sandwich effect where the spectator places the two aces in the deck wherever they'd like. I think I have a few performances of it. They shuffle. Then when we look through the deck for the aces, they have magically shuffled just one card between the aces. It's pretty remarkable already. And I should mention, as they were shuffling, I have them think of a card. Then we take the sandwich with the mystery card in. I drop. That's separate, away from the deck. They can even have it in their hands if they want. And then I have them name the card, and they name it, and it is the card in between the aces. It's a really incredible effect. It's got one really strange moment when there's only one card between the aces that they happen to be shuffling. So I love that effect. I haven't taught it anywhere yet, but it is. I'm deciding what I want to do with it. Deciding YouTube or maybe something else. But yeah, anyway, that'll be coming soon. Craig Petty, shared to our magic, our card magic, our card. Damn, hopefully people pop in then. I appreciate that, man. Thank you for sharing on all the Reddits. Can we get some close-up pad or rock around style demos along with convo? Digging the laid back style. So, close-up, what do you mean? So you want some demos? Like, you want me to take you down to the card table and do some demonstrations? Like, you want some tricks or you want some tutorials? What exactly are you looking for? Because I have the pad is down here. And, let me show you guys. This close-up pad, people always ask me about it. Literally the most junk thing ever. If you look at it, it's like, it's falling apart everywhere. Okay? It is literally two... I think they're 16 by 12. Two of those that I taped together, and they're like $16 each, and they're just like extremely thin felt. And again, it's peeling because it's very cheap. But I've been filming every single video on it, and it freaking rocks. Gets the job done. Don't need no fancy close-up pads. All right, so let's look at some magic ideas then. All right, what did I have? What did I have on the docket? The docket. I love that word. Such a strange word. Strange word. Okay, let's try the transition. I haven't done this in a while. Let's see. Boom. Well, I make the adjustments so you guys don't have to look at my hand making the card table adjustments here. Boom, and then we got. Whoo! Look at this. Looking like a real pro out here. So let's talk about a couple of ideas. So we'll start with something simple, and then we'll move into a neat idea on two-card Monty, because two-card Monty is something that is done a lot now. I put out a video. The video I put out on it did really well. But it's a very common, street magic effect, two-card Monty, right? So the way well, actually, no, we're going to get into that. That's going to be second. So we'll talk about, I have a neat variation with a special sort of twist to it. So I'll talk about that. So the first thing I want to talk about is an idea with a sort of an optical shuffle. I guess it's not, like, an optical shuffle to me means when you go like this, and you kind of, you don't actually, you might cut off a block, and then you're not actually pulling any cards, you're just doing the optical shuffle, right? But I thought about this. I was playing with this one day. I was shuffling, and I pulled off, and I was just, doing a regular shuffle. And then as I threw the first packet, it flung into my hand like this, right? And it was open in sort of a V. And then I shuffled off, and the rest of it went here. And as I was doing that, I realized that actually is just keeping the deck in order, right? Like, all it takes is the deck from here to here, and now when you shuffle, everything is going in order because you're throwing this top portion right there, like you're literally just doing this. You're not changing the deck at all. So I was like, how can we turn this into an actual false shuffle, right? Like, how can we make this a bit more deceptive? So there's two little ideas that I've just been playing with a little bit. So one is you do it like, it's easy, you do it completely false. So all you do is you're going to turn your body slightly to the left, and instead of, normally you'd have the cards resting against these fingers, right? And you shuffle on top. So in this case, as you pull off that first block, you can just flick the cards open this way so they rest against the thumb instead of against the fingers, right? So just like this. And now, as you come in, right? You don't even need to fling those fingers, right? So at first when I was practicing, I throw off and then the fingers would kick it over like that, right? Then, what I realized is you can actually just with momentum, just get it to fall like that. And if you miss, you can use the fingers as an adjustment. But as long as you have that packet tilted, the cards are naturally going to fall on top. Now, when you do this at a bit of speed and facing that way, it really looks like you're shuffling the deck, right? Everyone sees the cards changing, and it just looks like you're kind of shuffling the deck, but I'm not shuffling anything. I'm literally just pulling off, right? So we pull off our chunk from the bottom, and then this opens up in the hands, and then we're literally throwing off the top packets like that. And from here, I mean, look how good that looks. And it's just like the simplest false shuffle. And I don't know, it's great. And then, I mean, you could also do it like from a face down position, but I think it looks way better when it's kind of face up and they can see all the cards changing, right? And it totally mimics a real shuffle, and it just looks so good. So that's a little idea. Another thing you could do is pull off, throw off a chunk, and flick that chunk open, right? So now you have sort of a V, which is a little bit strange, but I think it could fly. And then you throw, and these packets rest against this one, and then you just pick up this one and throw it on top, right? So you kind of break it up into two phases. I think the first one's better, but that wouldn't kind of look like, let's see if I can do it at speed. That one would kind of look like this. But yeah, I definitely think this one's the way to go. Those are the two ideas I had that look, I mean, I just think that's such a deceptive false shuffle for how easy it is. So I don't know, let me know what you guys think of that little idea. I'll probably make a tutorial on it once I come up with a few other ideas and we'll practice it a little bit more. But I think it's really, really neat. Yeah, exactly. The table strip cuts there on the bottom. It looks really good in the hands, I think. So, how do you handle culling cards when it's in the top 3 or from the face? Seems hard to conceal from the spectator. Okay, man, that's a great question. Let's look at it here. So I'll zoom in even a bit more for you. So that's a question I get a lot. As you go through, right, let's say you want to get a cull on one of these 3. So if it's a top card, presumably you're going to have to handle that. You know, if that's the selected card or the named card, you're going to have to handle that in a different way, right? Like, say that's the named card and you go to flip the deck over and you see that, then just keep it face down and, I don't know, cut the cards until you bring that card to the top or whatever. But with the cull, so now second card, it's very, very doable, okay? A lot of people, you'll hear this say, go, you know, if it's one of the first few, go to the end and then come back and worry about it later. But, and at one point, that's what I thought until I got better at the cull and then I realized this. So, if you've ever heard of the reverse spread, the reverse spread is essentially the cull. So that's when you take cards and you spread them the opposite way. And the brilliant thing about the reverse spread is if you place it on a regular spread, so these are reversed, right? All the pips are hidden because normally you'd spread cards this way, so we reverse it. Now, this is a regular spread. You can see all the pips. When you come down, that card, or those 2, or those 3, whatever you want, are in the same position they would be for a cull. It just depends where you put this. So if you put it against the second card, then you can move the first card. If you put it against the 4th card, you can move 3. 3rd card, you can move those 2. So, let's say we want to move that first card, then it can just be go to the bottom, exactly how you would if you were to go through, cull it out, and move it to the bottom, right? It's the same exact thing. So now let's talk about 2 cards. Let's say it's the second card. Here's how I would handle it. So I'd say, who knows what my pattern is, my justification. So I want you to look, so let's say, okay, so you can see here all the cards are different. Oh, that was a fail. Let's try that again. So you can see here all the cards are different. And I do something like that, right? So as I see it, one thing I always like to do is pull off the cards in singles a bit at the beginning as I just start to go through. And that can give you some time to notice if it's one of the first few. So if it's the second card, as you pick up that second card, you reverse spread, come back, and the third one now goes in between those pinched cards. And so does the rest of the spread, and that card can go to the bottom, right? So 1, 2, reverse spread, come back, and you can just keep spreading off, but they're all going inside that card. So from this bottom view, it's like this, reverse spread, and then everything else is going in between as I close up, right? So that is how you can get the cull of one of the top cards. So you see how it looks at a bit of speed, boom. And obviously I'm flashing big time underneath, but I'm just trying to illustrate the points here. So the other thing is this works anywhere. It works with 3 cards. You do 3, you reverse spread, and you keep going, and you can just get that 1 card to the bottom, right? It just depends where you place the deck. So if you place the deck against those 2, you can get 1 to the bottom, but if you place it here, you could even get 2. So in a case where, let's say the 2 aces that you want to cull are here, or let's make them second and third. So you could go boom, you spread through, reverse spread, and now you just put that against the first card instead of the second one, and then you can go through, push those there, and you can have the 2 aces on top, right? So it's a lot of play, and for me, when I'm doing the cull, I am not always like a smooth rhythm the whole way through. I like to break it up, so I'll go like this, stop. So you haven't seen your card yet, have you? No, okay, perfect. This allows you to pause and adjust if you ever miss a card or make a mistake, right? So for example, let's say I'm going through and I want to cull this Queen of Diamonds. Okay, so let's say I'm going through. Normally I would come here, cull it, and keep going. But now let's say, back in the middle, I'm going through, and I'm going too fast, and there's a Queen of Diamonds, and I go right past it, and I realize that I'm past it now. What I can do is, if I do this a lot, you know, I pause and all that stuff. So I could say, you haven't seen your card yet, have you? Right? And I just kind of play with it. I might have to place, I've went pretty far past it in this case. That's not quite realistic. Usually you'd only miss it by a card or 2. But you just say, you haven't seen it yet, have you? No? And now I can kind of get it almost in position to execute a cull again. But you're just playing with it. It's really hard to teach, but then it'll allow me to come here and say, okay, perfect, we'll keep looking for your card and we'll keep going, and I have actually stolen it out. So let me go through. Let's say the Jack of Spades there. So it's in here somewhere. I've missed it. So I say, perfect, you haven't seen your card yet, have you? No? Okay, perfect. So we'll just keep going, just keep looking for it, and there's the Jack of Spades called out, right? So that is how, when I miss a card, I usually recover. I go through 4 clubs there, and I go past it a bit. I'm just going to push it back into view, right? Push it back. So let me show that again. I come through 4 clubs, I'm past it. I'm going to push it, and you might not always get it to be in view. Like this time it's hiding underneath there. But as I come through, I say, look, you could have picked anyone, or not, I wouldn't say you could have picked anyone. I would say something like, you haven't seen your card yet, have you? And I'll kind of just get it back into position. And oftentimes I might do this slightly towards me, so I don't reveal that I'm, doing anything with their card. But, that's another question I get asked a lot. How do you save or, handle cards that you've missed? But, maybe let me call all the face cards and we'll see what happens if I can give you a natural example here. Let's see. I don't know. I'll see if it works. Yeah, well, I'm going through. Yeah. Oh, see, that one I almost missed. So that one was going into where it shouldn't be going, right? So I was about to push the Jack in with the rest of the cards. And then, I don't know, you saw me. If you rewinded it, I instinctively pulled it back out because I knew I had it in the wrong spot. So I was going through, I pushed it in, and I realized, and I pulled it out. Right? It totally breaks the rhythm, but if it's in and I go, you haven't seen your card yet, have you? And I just pull it out, no one's going to notice. You haven't seen your card yet, have you? Now it goes underneath where it needs to go, and I can keep going through until I see my next court card, pull that out, and I should have all 12 right there. So that's sort of the idea. Damn, I must be way behind because I just see a nice optical shuffle now. Maybe I am like mad behind the lag here. I don't know. I'll just keep going. Hopefully I don't miss any questions, but it does seem to be quite behind, guys. So what do we have next? So that's some great tips on the cull. Okay, let's talk about. Let me see. Just got a text. Let's talk about the Monty. So I want to share with you guys something pretty cool here. So normally when I do Monty, I'm using the black aces and the red kings. But I don't feel like ruining another card, so I'm just going to use the 2s because this card is already set up how I need it. I would like to perform it, but I kind of need a person to perform this effect, but I'll see what I can do. So we're going to use the aces, and the 2s in this case will be the cards that will be switched in. And don't mind the baby written here. So the reason I like to use the black aces, because I always use the ace of spades as the money card. Everyone will remember it. It's really easy to follow, right? So if we get into our setup, so normally in a Monty, I would take the ace of spades. That's explain, this is a game, you can't cheat, this will be a gambling demo. Here is the money card. And I would place the money card in their hand, and I'll say, would it be cool if I switched it already? The jokes, whatever. They'll say, yeah, flip it over just to make sure, hasn't switched yet. Then I'll say, okay, perfect. I'll do my next card. I'll say this will be the decoy card, the ace of clubs, right? So now I'll take it and I'll say, so I'm going to switch it once, switch it twice, and I did it so fast that you still do have the ace of spades, so they can check, and they do still have the ace of spades because I switched it once, but then I switched it back, right? Just kind of roughly giving you the pattern here, and I'll say watch. So this time I'm going to do it really slowly. We'll do the switch. Anyway, we know how this looks, right? So let me kind of run through. Let's see if I can do a performance of this version. So ace of spades in your hand, and I'll say we'll use the decoy card as the ace of clubs. Now, the problem is, actually, give me 1 second, guys. I just remembered the exact reason I didn't want to do that. I need a different card. Yeah, this is my marked deck, and I do not want to write on it. So give me a sec. Yeah, I had that set up wrong. I did not want to write on my marked deck, but I was just about to. Okay, let's. This is marked, yes? Okay. Which one's here? Okay, let me find something we can use. I think this is marked as well. Yes, and this should be marked as well. Yes, okay, let's get those out of here. We'll use the non-marked deck. Perfect. And we'll use, okay, let's use red aces. This is going to be not the greatest, but we're going to use these cards because, okay, these cards. Let's go. So let me get set up. So we're going to use those aces and the 2. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Great question, Leonard. So, so this will be our money card now. So let me show you a quick performance. So normally, like I said, I'd use the black aces, red kings, but for various reasons, I don't want to use those cards right now. So I'll just show you. So this is the money card, ace of hearts. So we put that in their hand, and I say, all right, the decoy card is going to be the ace of diamonds. Here's what we'll do to make it easy to follow, because this game's actually more difficult than people think, because we're going to have the cards face down the whole time. So I want to actually help you out, right? So you have the ace of hearts and the ace of diamonds. So I'm going to actually make a little X, a little black X on the ace of hearts on the back of it, so you can actually follow it, right? You guys can see on the ace of hearts. So as that's in their hand, we make that. And I say, now look, when I take the ace of diamonds, and I can come in, and I can, if I were to switch it, right, we do the switch, now you know that I have the ace of hearts, right? It's easy to follow now. So if I switch it once, switch it twice, you know where it is. Oh, I brutally flashed that. All right. Hopefully no one noticed. Ace of hearts, right? So now you have the ace of, as you can see, I'm not very well practiced at this one, but it's the idea that counts. Just ideas that come into me. So they have the ace of diamonds, we have the ace of hearts. I'll say perfect. So we can take that now, and you can follow that, and I put that there. So now you can see the X, and if you were to bet, where is the ace of what was it? Ace of hearts. And then they'd say on top, and both the cards have changed. Yet there was still the X the whole time. So I kind of butchered that performance, but it's the idea that counts. So the method for this is to have a card pre-marked, right? It's simple. All you need to do is have one of your decoy cards pre-marked. So if we have our 2 aces and we have our 2 decoys, we'll say these would usually be kings for me. So the setup is your what you call your decoy card, right? The one that they don't want to get confused with. Then you have one of your kings, or in this case the 2, set up with a small X. So what I do is I draw the X, and I make the center of it right on where that corner is, right? So I can recreate it pretty easily. And it's just small. And I'll put that second, then I'll put the other, what would normally be a king, and then we have our money card, and then I have a break under those 3. So it's a typical 3-card Monty handling, but normally this X wouldn't be here yet, of course, but you give them the ace, and then there's 2 ways to handle this. I haven't quite, again, this is just a rough idea, so I haven't totally decided what's better, but either you say, okay, here's the decoy card, and then you do your switch, and you say, I switch it once, switch it twice, but as you can see, you have the card, you still have the card because I switched it once, but then I switched it twice, and you have that whole gag, and then you put the X on, or what I did in the attempt at a performance is, which I kind of like this idea, you flip over the ace, you say, this is the decoy card, and you say, but we're going to do this face down. And because this is going to be difficult, right? The backs look the same. I'll put an X on yours to help you out here. So then you draw your X right on the corner. of their card and you say, check it out. I want to make sure your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. Make sure there's actually an X on that card. And they will. They'll check that out. And then you say, all right, so that's the Ace of Hearts. That's the card you need to follow with the X on it. Now, as you push off this card, which is already one of the switches because you had a triple, this X is going to be revealed. So all you need to do is rest your thumb on it, right? And that's, I had the setup wrong. I had the X backwards when I was doing it the first time. So that's why you need to make sure it's there. So you push it off and your thumb just stays and covers that X, easy. And then this is one of your switches. So you say, all right, so I'll take the Ace of Diamonds. And now, of course, you can't do the switch it once, switch it twice because they'll know that was a lie. I mean, you might be able to do it as a gag, though. You say, watch, so I'll switch it once, switch it twice. And if you do it really fast, you know, it can be a funny gag. Or what I did is I would go and I'd actually switch it. So I say, look, so now if I switch it, it's easy to follow because the X is on it. You know I have the Ace of Hearts. So if I switch it once, switch it twice, then where's the Ace of Hearts? And they'll say, in your hand. And you say, yes, exactly. Now you come to your top change, and the X is still there, even though you've stolen away the other one. And you just make sure your thumb's covering that X, place it on top, and you would say, all right, so, you know, where's the Ace of Hearts? And they would say on top, and you would say, all right, take a look. And they both have changed. So that is, you know, Marked Monty, I think is the name I gave it for now. And I think it's a really, really clever handling of the Monty, right? Like, I think, I haven't road tested it yet, but I think that would add just a small element, right? It's impromptu, you don't need any gimmicks, no setup, but it's a small element that I think could really elevate it. Again, I need to road test it because Monty's always a good trick, but I feel like there's rooms for improvement. And then I have another variation of the Monty that I'm still working on and want to road test more, so I'm not going to talk about it yet, but it's pretty awesome. It's like this on steroids. So I think this is a really cool idea. Let me know what you guys think. Play around with it a bit, but yeah, that's Marked Monty. And let me know if you have any questions on that. The only thing, of course, is it does sort of ruin that ace if you were to try to do this again, and you can't really use this ace in the deck anymore for a lot of things because it'd be marked. But, you know, you could, if you know, instead of, I like the idea of being able to draw the X on in front of them, but, you know, you could just start the effect and use this ace every time and say, this is the money card, the Ace of Hearts. I always draw an X on it because people find it too hard to follow, right? And then you could just, you know, do it always that way. So it doesn't, you know, ruin every card, but that's the one reason I haven't done it a ton yet, though, just because you need to have a new ace every time. But you know, unless you do it that way, then I see no problem with saying, you know, here's the money card. I've actually marked it on the back because people have so much trouble following it. I think that's actually quite a nice justification. So hope you guys enjoyed that little tutorial. We have another question here. Let me check it out. Do you have a process you go through for getting a trick ready to show a spectator? How do you know his trick is ready to perform? Great question. Let me switch views here. Get back on my nice face. That's the wrong way. So, thank you, Anthony, by the way. I appreciate it. And Leonard, yes, I will create a video for Marked Monty. It's on the list. I know that tutorial was, the live tutorial was pretty quick, and there's more details to go in, and there's more ideas. Before I create a tutorial, and this kind of answers your question, before I ever create a tutorial, though, I always like to road test things and test it in the real world, and that one I haven't yet, to be honest, that handling of it. So I think it'll play really well, and maybe this will be a good example, and I can answer your other question, but there will be a tutorial on that, and I plan to leave this live stream up if you want to come back and revisit it, but the live streams don't, you know, these are, you know, people in here, and they don't get a ton of views, so I always usually will reteach certain things if they're good and I think they're worth it, and I do think that one is. So process. So when I have an idea for a trick, right, I sit down, I go through the whole creative process, I work on it, I get it to the point that I want it to be at, and at a certain point, you know, when you have enough experience, I just know when something will at least work, right? Like I can say this will at least work in the real world. It'll work with people. Now there's a bunch of unknowns that you cannot answer without performing. Like, will this moment or this moment get the better reaction? Will this be, you know, a 12 out of 10 trick that blows minds and you get those crazy reactions? Or will it just be a good trick, a solid trick that gets a little laugh? I can have a guess, I can have an idea of how I think it will do, but you never actually know. Like with that 4 King Held trick by Craig Petty, like I said, I just felt like I needed a new card to box, so I did it not thinking it would be anything crazy, but people have been loving it, right? So I was wrong in that case. But you need to get to a point. Let me try to give you something concrete that's not just be me so you know the answer of if your trick's good, right? That's basically what I just said. So you need to think about it in stages, okay? You need to think about the beginning, the sort of climax, the main point of magic, and the ending, right? So like, how's the setup to the effect, right? Like, and I can literally mean the setup. Like, if it's a complicated setup, how am I going to get into it in front of an audience? And I think these points will be illustrated. I'll try to come up with an example to give you of an actual trick in a second. And then the big part is the climax, right? Is there actually something magical? And I always start with the effect, right, versus the method. So if I have an effect, I want to make it happen, then I'll work through the method. And that way I know, okay, this is going to be the moment where I want the magic to happen. So when you know what effect you want, you can look at, okay, people, here's the emotions I want to evict. Now, I try to put myself in their shoes. If I was watching this, what would need to happen for me to actually think this was magical or believe in the magical aspect, right? And that's a hard question to answer, but you need to look at it from that perspective. Like if I was going to do let's take 2-card Monty. If I was going to do 2-card Monty, the moment when the cards switch would be the moment that if I wanted to feel like magic, that would have to be imperceptible. So then I'll work through it, and when I come up with my methods, it's about thinking of, will this work, right? Will this actually fool someone? Will it be able to get past someone? And if you're using techniques that are already established, like a top change, a double lift, you know those things will work, right? You know you can do a double lift and someone won't see it. But sometimes it's when you come up with new methods, like I have several methods, not totally card magic. I mean, it's hard to come up with new stuff in card magic, but like mentalism, phone magic stuff that brand new, I created the method and I'm like, I don't even know if this will work on someone. But you just have to break it down to its bare bones. Think about, okay, if I didn't know what I know, if I was a human, would I think about this? And then you have to make educated guesses. You can ask people close to you, hey, you know, if I did this, do you think you'd notice? What would you think? If I showed you this on my phone, what would be the first thing that goes through your mind? Or show them your card move. What goes through your mind when you see this? Does this fool you, right? You can ask your friends and family who are laymen. They'll give you honest answers, but there's no stakes, right? And then when you get to a certain point where it feels like, okay, I feel like you'll know, though. I feel like you'll have a feeling like, okay, this routine is tight enough around the edges where everything I can see happening, I've covered, right? And you want to think about the possible things that could go wrong and how you could kind of get out of those cases. That can help as well. But at a certain point, there's going to be things you can never think about going wrong, and you'll just have to do it for real and you know, and find them and figure out what those things are and try to get out of it real time. And then afterwards, you can reflect on it more. But that's a... Did I say if I was a human? Did I say that? I am a human. But, oh, I get what you mean. I was talking about layman. I meant layman, not human. If I was a regular human, we're magicians. We're not regular humans. That's funny. Didn't even notice. If I was a human, so yeah, think about if you were an actual human. I like that. I'm gonna start using that. I think. If I was a human, yeah. So think about it from the spectator's perspective. Let's try to summarize everything I just rambled about. I wouldn't say I have a concrete process. Think about it as a spectator. Cover all your bases. Think about what could go wrong, how you can get around that. Think about, okay, would this be able to get past someone? And then when you're at a point where you're like, okay, this will work, here's the outcome I expect, then you got to get out there and test it. Test it with people who are close to you first if you're unsure. But I remember, like, I just recently came up with a fantastic effect. It's so good. You guys are going to see a performance of it soon. I was filming downtown on Saturday. Street Magic. You can see the little teaser I put as a short 2 days ago, I think. That's some of the... I got like such a good shoot. I got like 2.5 hours, like 3-4 Street Magic videos are going to come from that. Such great like reactions and people. It was just such a good night doing my thing, you know. So I actually tried out this new effect. I don't really want to talk about it yet because I haven't figured out what I want to do with it, and it's just so good. But you guys will see the performance. It's the spectator card to pocket one, just to give you a little hint. But there's so much more into it. It's got, oh my god. Should I talk about it? I'll think about it. But the point is, when I created that, I just created it like last week, and I tested it Saturday because I had the idea. I knew the idea was brilliant. Like I knew this is just going to be such a good idea. And then when I started to work through the method, and I finally figured out what a practical method was that would work, then it was just figuring out, would this work? Would I be able to do this on a real person? Would this fool people? And then I'm like, yes, it would. You know, I practiced it over and over on no one, on myself, and I'm like, yes, all of these angles. I thought about all the things that could happen. Yeah, that'll work. That'll do this. And then I'm like, okay, I did it once on some friends, and then I did it for real, right? And it killed. It was so good. So you just... Sometimes you don't know till you know. Like, I feel like I'm gonna screenshot your question because I don't feel like I've given you a great answer, Leonard, to what process do I have to know when a trick's ready. I don't feel like I gave you a great answer, to be honest, because I think I need to put more thought into it. But I think it's hopefully it's a decent answer. But I think I'm gonna make a video on that because that's a great question. Because it's not even something that I totally know how to put into words either. Like, just thinking about like that recent example last week, I just went through that process of idea, method, effect, testing, thinking about it, then testing it once, and then actual road test. Like, we've done all the steps, right? And it's something I'm gonna do now because it's just so good. But when did I remember thinking like, this is just gonna work, it's gonna be good. But a process, like, I think that's the best I can give you for now. Work through your idea, your method, and just try to think about the holes in it and think from a layman's perspective. That's my advice for now. But that effect, man, let me see. Okay, I'll give you a little bit more. It's an effect where, again, you're going to see the performance hopefully soon. You have one spectator with their eyes closed, and you do a magical effect to them. And the premise, it's got a great premise and hook too. I love it. It's so unique, I think. I mean, I've never heard it before, and it's just, I love the premise. I think it's got a great hook. The premise, I can tell you the premise. The premise is about, you know, magicians. I say magicians, I want to show you how to feel the magic, right? Or should I say not feel the magic? And they go, what do you mean not feel it? And I say, it's a weird statement, but here's the thing. Magicians will often do this thing where, let's say they'll put a card in your hand and something will happen and they'll say, did you feel that? And 99% of the time there's this awkward moment when you say no. 99% of the people say no because, well, there's nothing to feel. And then I say, and I don't think it's for any reason other than they're asking the wrong question. They should be asking, you didn't feel that, did you? And then I give an example. I say, all right, so imagine, I'll put this card in your hand. Imagine your eyes are closed, and imagine that I'm going to tell you the card's going to disappear, and you can feel the card right now. You feel the edges, you feel everything. And then you feel this, right? You feel that, and I just take it away, and we all know what that would feel like. You feel the card move, right? And then I say, and then you open your eyes and the card is gone. Is that impressive? Not really, because you felt it leave. And then I say, but if you feel the card in your hand and I say this and you open your eyes and imagine it was gone, now that would be really good. That would be good magic because you didn't feel a thing. So sometimes magic is actually inherently found within not feeling something rather than feeling something. And I think a lot of magicians have that wrong. So let me show you. I want to show you how to not feel the magic, or I'm going to get you to not feel the magic. So that's the hook, that's the premise. Love it. Super good. Basically, one spectator is the person who's going to not feel the magic, and there's a whole effect that happens on them, but their eyes are closed. Everyone else is watching, and it's got a great moment of everyone sees how you do it. Like, it's such a unique thing. Like, not many effects are really like this. It's like you're letting everyone else, like when I did this, I had an audience of like 20 people surrounding me, the most I had of the whole night on Saturday. They just all came for this effect, and they're all watching. One guy has his eyes closed at the front with me, and I'm doing the effect on him. They're all watching, and they see exactly how I do it. You know, I have to, like, to the point where I'm like, shh, don't tell him. Like, his eyes are closed, but I signaled everyone, and everyone sees the method. They see how it works, right? And in doing that, you reveal. You nonchalantly, part of the method involves you having a card and taking a card, and you show them all that card just casually, so everyone subconsciously knows what that card is, and then you put it in someone's pocket, just that card, because we don't need it, like, it's part of the method, and so everyone's in on it. Everyone sees it. Everyone gets think about it. People are laughing because they're like, bruh, like, as if that's the method that he's using, as if it worked. As if he doesn't know. And then the best part, the friend opens their eyes, and they're blown away. They don't understand, because they didn't feel anything. How what I make happened. And they're like, what the hell? Whereas everyone else is laughing because they know exactly how I did it because they were watching. So it's awesome. And then it gets better, right? Of course, I can't leave it off with just them being fooled. We need to fool everyone else. So at the beginning, a card was selected and signed by the guy with their eyes closed, and anyway, there's another really great moment of magic that everyone else is in on because they know what the card is that you had put in the pocket. You can, jazz it up, fake some things, get some people to name random cards. This guy is just even more blown away, and then at the end, you just kill everyone with the finale. And I'll leave it at that, because everyone thinks they've been in on it the whole time, but no, they have not. They only think they have. So it's so good, man. So good. I don't even have a name for it yet, but you'll see a performance of that soon. Whew. A lot of talking. Well, how long are we at now? It's been a good stream, man. Good stream. Feel like we got some good talking in, some good stuff. Any last things? I think I'm gonna head out of here soon. I'm getting hungry. Camera's getting a little low on battery. Wow. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate the wow. I think that was about the premise. It's a pretty good premise, man. I think it's pretty great. But the whole thing, it's just a great effect, bro. Super good. Man. I need to figure out how to do, like, I don't know, like videos. Like, I can pull videos from websites. Like, I have an idea, but it wasn't working very well. Because I would like to do, like, we can look at some videos and maybe some kind of reaction stuff on live, but I gotta figure that out. Anthony, did you feel that versus you didn't feel that, did you? That was so poignant. Yeah, man. Give me one sec. It's, it's a really neat premise because it hooks people right away because they're like, what does he mean by that? But it makes a lot of sense when you actually think about it, about how not feeling magic can actually be better than feeling magic happen. And every magician on planet Earth is asking you, did you feel that? Right? I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I say that a lot, but I might have to start changing that because I just thought of this last week. So it's really clever, like, at the end of the day, I think. And the whole premise sets up so well for the effect that everyone watches. Like, anyway, I want to keep some mystery so people are excited to watch it, but it's a good effect, really, really good. Yeah, so I'm gonna head out of here in a bit. I'll just give another few minutes, see if anyone has any last questions. We had a good stream. If anyone's in here, I mean, I'll stick around as long as the questions keep coming, but I'll give another 2-3 minutes. I know the stream's behind a little bit, so see if anyone has any other questions, anything I can talk about. Gladly. We touched on a lot today. We touched on FISM a little bit. It was here in Canada. That was pretty cool. in Quebec. I didn't go, but looked like a great time. Looked like a really great time. What else? Oh, I did a few tutorials. If you guys are just tuning in now, I taught just a little idea I call marked Monty, how to step up your 2-card Monty a little bit. I will be making a full tutorial on that at some point. But yeah, if you have any other questions, just let me know. I also taught a really cool little optical shuffle idea. Super simple, like the simplest false shuffle that I know. So I'll probably actually make a video on that too, because I think it's really good. But I like coming on here sharing ideas early. It's nice. I get to share like things that I am currently thinking about, working on, right? Not whereas like tutorials, they're usually like older stuff, right? It's not often where I like come up with something and I just teach it because I need to test it. I need to make sure it actually works, you know, road test it and that sort of thing. So, you know. Oh, here we go. Tell the spectators what's going to happen before the magical moment, or just say watch without spoiling. Which is better? What context are we talking about? Tell the spectators what's going to happen before the magical moment. Oh, okay, just in general. I got you, man. I got you. Sometimes it takes me a while to understand. Okay. There's inherently a ton of power in whichever one of those two options you choose. So I've always been a big fan of telling people when you can. It doesn't work in every effect. Sometimes it's not a good thing. But when you can, if you can tell people exactly what's going to happen and then you do it, it can make the magic really, really incredible. But you have to be careful because there's two reasons. One, you have no outs then. You have no safety nets. It's going to be very, like, if you say, I'm going to, let's see if I can nail this, throw up the deck and have one card shoot out, and it's going to be your card. I love that move, by the way. It's a lot of fun. I use it actually a lot. Because you can actually control what that card is that pops out. I think I've taught it somewhere. One of the videos briefly. The 4-card production trick I recently put out. I taught it. Anyway, if I said I was going to do that, and then I shoot it out and it's the wrong card, well, I can't go grab an invisible deck now and do the out that everyone does when they mess up a trick. Right? Like that 4-King Hell trick by Craig Petty, his hook is like, I'm going to tell you beforehand, so that, you know, it's not, they say never do this in Magic, but I'm going to tell you beforehand. And that's a nice hook, but it doesn't leave much room for error. So you got to be careful. But think about that. If you can tell someone beforehand, then in their mind, it's more fair. They can watch for every single thing that they can think of that would make that happen. So then when it does happen and they didn't see any of those things, it's like, whew, right? So that is awesome. Then, on the other hand, sometimes catching people off guard can be good. On visual stuff, I would say, you know, like a color change, right? Just saying, you know, watch, boom, doing the change. And in some cases you just can't reveal beforehand because if it's a multiple outs or it's going to ruin the method or something. So you got to be careful. There's a time and a place for sure. But if you can, like certain tricks, it's just so killer to be able to do that. I'm trying to think of an example of one where I would like do that, like 4-King Hell, the Craig Petty trick, right? Like I keep talking about it, but I've been doing it, you know, more lately. So you tell them before you're going to put 4 kings in the box and you're going to make them fall out of the box one at a time. That's exactly what you do. So if you think about that from a spectator's perspective, they're now thinking, okay, he put the kings, they watch so attentively when you put the kings in the box. When you show them that both sides of the box are, like, there's nothing on either side, there's nothing under the box, it's now like, okay, this is why this is important. Like, I need to pay attention. Like, the fact there's nothing there. If it actually goes through the box, now that I know that I've paid attention, I've watched that there's nothing there, and he's told me, and it happens, it's like, pfft. And then when you do it like 3 times in a row, each time they're now looking closer. Because the first time they're like, whoa. Second time they're like, whoa. The third time now they're like, okay, I got to figure this out. They don't see it. Then the fourth time they're really like, okay, it's not that, it's not that, it's got to be this. Like, so it actually can enhance the effect. This kind of ties in a bit to my stating the obvious video, where I think How to Make Your Magic Better, episode 12, where I talked about, like, if you can state, I do think in a lot of cases, guys, it's important to state the obvious. You always hear, don't state the obvious, don't state what you're doing, but no. Laymen, and if you haven't, go watch that video because there's a bunch more detail in that, but the general idea is laymen are not as familiar with the deck of cards as we are. And the reason we think that we shouldn't state the obvious is because when we talk about it with other magicians, we're like, yes, it's obvious that this is mixing up the cards. You don't need to say it, right? You don't need to say that. And when you ask another magicians, hey, do you think I should say when I'm shuffling the cards? They say no, because, hey, it's obvious. It's obvious to us as magicians who spend all of our lives handling these. And I know you're going to think, oh, our spectators aren't that dumb. Of course they know shuffling a deck of cards mixes them, but it might not register. And if it doesn't register, then it doesn't matter. The effect is gone. It's hopeless. You need to be very clear about everything that you do and why it is important to the effect. So if we're doing in any card, any number, when they are shuffling, I will explicitly point out that you are shuffling the cards. Remember this. You are making any order that you want to make, right? If I take the cards back and I start shuffling, I'll say, look, I am mixing up the cards. You can see each card. Obviously, I won't talk to them in that. Obviously, I'm making a point here, but I will emphasize these things. I will emphasize when they have that free choice of the card and the number, right? I'll really, really emphasize those things because I need to. And then in recapping, I will start stating all these things that happen that, yes, they may have been obvious. But they're important. They're gonna, it's almost like it's almost like telling the spectator in advance what you're gonna do. You're being obvious, you're making it as fair as you can be, so that at the end, it's incredible. So that's my long-winded answer, my man. Any last things? I gotta get going. Anyone wants to throw up any last questions? Any quick fire stuff? I'll try to keep it short. I'll wait about 2 minutes. 9:59. And maybe I'll give till 10. Alright, 10. My camera's going to die soon, so. But this has been a great stream, man. Talked about a lot. Got some tutorials in. Got a lot of theory in. Talked about some new stuff I'm working on. Some new videos. All the new content. Oh, here we go. Do you have any favorite tricks with a blank deck, like a prediction? All cards are blank except for the card thought of by the spectator. No gimmicks. Thanks. I don't really use gimmicks, and like having a whole deck of blank cards to me would be a gimmick, right? That's something that you have to carry around that's different from your regular deck. So I don't really do anything with a whole blank deck. Like I've thought about doing like my Soe can. Someone gave me this idea in the comments once. Soe cans, like the sleight of hand any card any number with a blank deck and using like the advocate, because that could be really cool. But I've just never done it yet. Because again, it's a lot to get ready for one effect when I could just do it with a regular deck. So, don't really use a blank deck, man. Like, I have methods, I have ways, but I just personally don't, All right, thank you, my man. You have a good night as well. I appreciate it, and I think we'll end it off there. So, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate it. If you haven't, go check out the website, man, because I, put a lot of effort on that. You can get some sick merch, whatever side it's on. The RF Slights merch, got the sick shirt. You gotta check out the Show Me a Trick tee, guys. Like, for real, it's a sick shirt. It's got Ask to See a Magic Trick in huge on the back. When I was out doing street magic, like, I could hear people reading the shirt. Like, it's just like, if you're shy to approach strangers or approach anyone to show them magic, having Ask to See a Magic Trick on the back of your shirt, man, that's what you need. Like, it'll help you get over having someone come to you. They're going to be into it because they asked you. It's great. But it also, not only that, it has a 3-phase routine built into it that you perform with just the shirt on. You ask someone to name a card, and their card they name is printed on your shirt. It's wild, man. You show them. It's printed. It's printed. You look at the name. Anyway, go check out that trick. I'm hoping to get more performances of it. The Show Me a Trick tee. And yeah, so anyways, guys, we got some more street magic videos coming. I just did a whole big shoot on Saturday, like I mentioned, and I got a lot of great content coming. So stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Thank you for tuning into the live. Peace.